Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You guys, we just finished concealer week. If you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, hi, welcome. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to tell you why you should do both of those things. We just finished up concealer week. So for 5 days, I tried new concealers that just recently released. I wore them for you guys and it was awesome. It was amazing. You definitely want to be subscribed because I just had concealer week, which I will link in the playlist, and foundation week is on Monday, you guys, for 7 days. New foundations that just released January, like this month. I am testing them out and wearing them for you guys, and I'm bringing you guys in really close, giving you a lot of information, so you definitely want to be subscribed. And I'm amazing. That's also why you should be subscribed. And because I already love you even though you're not subscribed yet. That too. Just saying. Okay. I sound like a man today, hence why I did a lot of pink on my face, because I sound very manly. Don't want you to get confused. Today's video was very requested. So after like that 5th day of concealer week, when I did the Fenty concealer, you guys really wanted me to rate all the concealers, to give you my final thoughts of which ones I love the best, which ones I think you should spend your money on. Just my final thoughts after trying them for a long time. So that week was pre-recorded, so I've tried all these concealers several times since then. I definitely have my thoughts together, and I thought I would rate them from my 5th favorite all the way to like my #1 favorite concealer from concealer week. Now, I do want to say something. My preferences are completely different than your preferences, and the things that I like in a concealer, maybe you don't like, or maybe you have more things that are more important. These concealers, even though I rated them from 5 to 1, these aren't terrible. If they were terrible, I would tell you. I would tell you for sure. These are not terrible. They all are pretty good. And the reason that they're ranked where they're at is because, first off, they need to be put somewhere. And if I'm doing 1 to 5. And second off, there's just certain qualities from each one that I like more. And that doesn't mean that it's the best in the whole world. That's why I'm going to tell you guys why I put them where they're at in that ranking, why I like them, so that you can kind of take it, and for you, if it's more important for the brightness rather than the coverage, then great. Doesn't mean that because I put my concealer #1, it's the best if you care more about a different trait that another concealer has here in this list. Is that making sense at all? What I'm saying is I'm going to try to give you guys my thoughts, but doesn't necessarily mean that what works for me is going to work for you. What I care about, you care about. Just so you guys kind of know. Okay, that was the longest spiel ever. Alright, so foundation week's Monday. Just finished concealer week. I'm going to label them from 5 to 1. All of the boxes have been checked. Let's start. So the 5 concealers, and I'm raspy because I'm sick. And the 5 concealers that I did concealer week on is the Fenty Beauty Concealer, the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, the JOAH Truly Yours, the JOAH Truly Yours Dark Circle Concealer, the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer, and the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. Before we get started, if you haven't seen concealer week, I have these folds underneath my eyes where they kind of go in. Concealer's always going to seep there. That's not the problem. But I also have lines. It's really dry underneath my eyes, and I'm not gonna lie, not a lot of concealers work for me. The Tarte Shape Tape does not work for me. The Revolution one is still too dry for me. That's how dry my under eyes are. So just so you know what I'm kind of working with here. So let's start with #5. And this was rather difficult. It was rather difficult to put this as #5, but I am. #5 is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This one is a good concealer. It is a good one. I think it is, this one has probably the second most coverage as far as coverage goes than any of the other concealers, like right off the bat. I don't think that this is like completely full coverage, but I think it's high, medium, almost full if you don't have really dark and big under eyes. My under eyes are so dark because I don't sleep very well. So if you don't have that problem, you're gonna like this. Now, as far as why it's number 5, it's because it's the driest one out of all of them. And they're not, all these concealers are not, these are not dry concealers. All these concealers actually are really nice for someone that has really dry under eyes. This one is the driest one of them all, and it's not even that dry. So if I'm going to rank this next to the Tarte Shape Tape, this formula is the driest. Then we have the Revolution Conceal and Define. That one's right next to it. It's not as dry, but it's right next to it. Then we have the Infallible Full Wear Concealer. So I can still wear this, and it's not gonna look bad under there, but I have to be careful of the powder that I put on top. And if it goes from dryness, it's Tarte, Revolution, and the Infallible, if that makes sense. I do have to be careful what powder I use underneath, and I have to do like a light powder. But the reason this is number 5 is because I felt like this, it just didn't look the best with my fine lines. It didn't really sink into my skin as much as I wanted it to sink into. But down here, it did look very flawless. So it's just really close up. I could just see where it kind of like wasn't sinking into my skin enough. And you do definitely need to set this because it does crease like crazy. Also, it just wasn't my favorite. I felt like on my face it didn't look the best. It just wasn't my favorite, but it does have good coverage. If you're someone that maybe the Revolution, you like the Revolution one, you're gonna like this one probably. And if you don't have so many like indents, like it really came across in my little fold there underneath my eye, and it wasn't waterproof. Like it just transferred easy. But if you're someone that doesn't touch your eyes a lot, you're someone that doesn't have contacts, you're someone that you like the Tarte Shape Tape, you like the Revolution one, then you're probably gonna like this one, and it is good coverage and it is really affordable. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. For my eyes, I have the shade 360 Cashmere. For my face, I have the shade 375 Latte, just so you guys know. It's a good concealer, that's my number 5. It's not the one I go to the most. Number 4 is the Fenty Beauty one, and the reason this one is the number 4 is because I was really expecting a lot of coverage from this. This one gave me medium coverage. I'm wearing it today and I can still see my purple under eyes even after I put a yellow concealer down first and then put this one on. It's not enough for me. Also, I got the shade 240 that matched my foundation, and I felt like this one wasn't light enough. It almost seemed a little bit darker than 240. I don't know if that's just like me, if I just got like a wonky one, if it's just my eyes, but it didn't seem like this was a good match, and I probably would have gotten a shade or 2 lighter than this for sure, at least 230. I didn't feel like this one was a good match. Now, this one is not like the foundation. It is more hydrating than the foundation is. I know the foundation is really, really matte. This one is more hydrating, but you definitely need to set this. And the thing with this one is I feel like powder really clings onto this one a ton. Like, you have to be really careful. I used a small fluffy brush. I have this on today. I used a small fluffy brush. This one is the Morphe Y14, and I barely dipped it into powder and was really light underneath the eyes. That way it wouldn't cling weird or make my concealer look cakey. The problem with this one is that it can look cakey and drying just because it really clings onto the powder. So if you have dry under eyes, you want something, just a light powder under there. I would just use a really small brush, a fluffy brush, and just lightly go under there because this concealer really clings onto powder, I feel like, for sure. It looks nice though. Whenever I do a light layer of powder in that way, it does look nice underneath the eyes. I just really expected it to give me more coverage. It's like a medium coverage. Probably the same amount of coverage as the Milani one, as the JOAH Truly Yours. It's like that same amount of coverage, and it's expensive. So that's kind of why I labeled it as number 4 on my list. But it does last a long time. It lasts all day long, but it's definitely not waterproof. Just gonna say that. Okay, number 3 on my list of concealers is this one, and I'm not gonna lie, 1, 2, and 3 are some of my favorite ones. 1, 2, and 3 are my favorite concealers. If you try any of them, you're going to be fine. They're going to be beautiful. But I had to rank them. I had to put them somewhere. Someone definitely has to be on the 3rd spot, and this one's it. The Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. This one is beautiful. It's beautiful. The formula is so creamy. I still haven't got one for my face, but I definitely am. I have the shade here, 135 medium beige for underneath my eyes, and it is creamy, but it's only medium coverage is what I'm going to say about that. Like I said, I still see like my really purple, like deep spots. I definitely would have to go in with a corrector first, which I don't mind doing because this formula is beautiful. If you have really dry under eyes, this formula will look gorgeous on you. You do need to set it, just a light little setting, and I find that it looks nice, it lasts all day, it really does well if you have lots of lines under there, and it doesn't break apart. Like I have that, like I said before, that like fold underneath my eyes, and sometimes concealer will break apart and look hideous in there. It doesn't do that, so it doesn't do that. And just the creaminess of this concealer and this particular shade is just so nice. It is so dang creamy. It's so nice. I just really love it, and the fact that it's drugstore is awesome, and this would be such a good concealer for the face. Just the formula already, like I think this would be an amazing one for the face. So take that as you will. Okay, my number 2 favorite concealer, which honestly number 2 and number 1 are honestly tied, but I can't just be unfair and do that. But the number 2 is the JOAH Truly Yours Dark Circle Concealer, and the reason I'm putting this number 2 is because of the coverage. This one has, again, a medium coverage. You can build it because this one is a very lightweight, super thin formula that can be built. But if you don't have like huge purple under eyes, this will work fine for you. I'm in the shade that I absolutely love is Natural Ivory because it's so brightening. So today I put on the Fenty one, and then I used this on top to brighten up this area because I felt like the Fenty one was just too dark. And I love this so much. I love this for if I decide to correct underneath my eyes first and then put this on, or if you just want one just to brighten. This is such a good one. It does have a sponge, which isn't the best, but even with the sponge, I just love the formula. It reminds me so much of the Age Rewind concealer, but even better. I feel like the Age Rewind still accentuated like my lines a little bit. This one is so smoothing, so beautiful, so flawless, doesn't accentuate anything. It just looks so good underneath my eyes, and I am just in love with this. I'm going to repurchase it. I can't explain how beautiful it looks underneath my eyes that I'm willing to color correct first and then go in with this, or just live with like the medium coverage. Like I'm willing to do that. And I can pile it and pile it and pile it on to add more coverage, and it's not gonna get cakey. It's not gonna look bad under there. I can just set it lightly, but on no makeup days, I don't even think I need to set it, and it kind of just sinks into your skin. And it looks just really, really beautiful and really, really nice. So I really love this one, and this would have been number 1 if the coverage would have been up there. It's like tied. I definitely think you should try this one. I think it's really, really good. Okay, number 1 is this one, the e.l.f. Concealer. Surprise, surprise, you guys, the 16-hour camo concealer. I don't know if you've ever tried any other e.l.f. concealers, but their e.l.f. concealers are kind of like their mascaras. They suck. And when I saw this, I'm like, okay, this is at Ulta, so maybe it's good. It's nice packaging. It has a normal name, 16-hour camo concealer. You know, it looks like it's more legit, like it's nicer. So I picked it up, and I have 3 shades. I have, for my face, Tan Sand. For my contour, deep olive, which is what I have right now, and I got olive on purpose because I have olive skin and I really like that. And for underneath my eyes, light beige, which is very, very, very light and brightening. You can even mix these two. And oh my gosh, this is such a good concealer, you guys. And for several reasons. First off, this is probably the concealer that had the most coverage out of all of these concealers for me. And it sunk into my skin so beautifully. It looked like skin. It didn't look like I had makeup on. This is something I would totally feel comfortable wearing on no makeup days because it will not look like makeup. It just looks so good. Even around the face, it didn't cling onto dry patches. It sunk into the skin. It dried quickly. It does set quickly, not too quickly, but it will set. And once it sets, like, you don't need to set it with powder. I never set this with powder and it looks so beautiful. If you have oily under eyes, I would set this, but if you have dry under eyes like I do, you don't need to set this. I mean, you can, like a light dusting, but you don't need to. And I think it looks even prettier when you don't. And it will last all day long, you guys. It is such a good concealer. I would go to the gym with this concealer. Like, I'm just so impressed with it. So impressed. I specifically really love this deep olive shade. If you have olive skin and you need like a contour shade, this one is like very, very olive. It's like olive slash orangey golden, but it's so pretty. I'm in love with it, and every time I wear this as a contour or bronzer, you can use it to bronze, I always get compliments and questions about it, which is so funny because I say, you know, it's a concealer, it's like $5. I think this is also the cheapest concealer out of all of them, and it is just so amazing, so good. I definitely recommend you trying it out, you guys, and they do have some good shades there. So I don't know, this is my number one. It works so well. If you have lots of lines, if you have dry under eyes, this one is a good one. If you want something that you don't have to put powder underneath, this is a good one because it sets itself. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful mixed with foundation. It is just gorgeous. I have even, like today, I even put this bronzer shade slash contour shade on top of powder because I powdered my face and forgot, and so I put it on top and it still blended out beautifully and it still looked beautifully. So I really, really, really love this concealer, and it's definitely my number one. Number one, number two, number three, I think are definitely worth it. If you have dry under eyes and you're looking for a higher end concealer to try out, definitely consider trying out the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Concealer. This one I really do love. It's nice, and I like this one more than the Fenty one. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. If you're kind of wondering, because this is the only high-end one I tried, and you're wanting to try one from Sephora or from Ulta that are high-end, and you maybe don't want to try this one now, I would recommend trying this one. Okay, so that is that, you guys. Those are all the concealers from Concealer Week ranked, kind of talked about, and whatnot. I am so excited for Foundation Week, you guys. Trust me, you want to see this one. The foundations are incredible. So there's some surprises, and it's gonna be just a really fun week, you guys. I hope you've been enjoying my videos. Thank you for all the new subscribers and the subbies and the love I've been getting. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so sweet. Don't be scared to comment and to tell me like a little bit about yourself, things that you like, things you think I like, funny stories that happened with you. Like I love and I have a true interest in like other people's lives. And I would love to know more about you guys. Seriously, you guys are my friends, and I hope that you feel like we're friends. And I really do enjoy reading your guys' comments, and I make sure that I like them. I like all your comments. I love your comments, and I make sure to comment back and to talk to you guys because I really do enjoy when you guys comment down there and whatnot. Like, it's really nice, and that's kind of why I'm here on YouTube, to make more friends, to meet new people, to reach people. And so I just seriously, you guys, comment down below, tell me something about you guys. Also, you guys, assignment, homework assignment, tell me, I'm preparing to do like a video series, tell me, what is a lipstick that you think is kiss proof? Like, that's a good one if you're gonna be kissy, makey outy. If you're gonna be kissing someone, or that's just transfer proof. And tell me a lipstick, it can be liquid lipstick, it can be regular lipstick. Tell me a lipstick that you will wear if you're going to go eat somewhere, because you know it's gonna stay put, it's not gonna get all messy when you eat, and you kind of trust it. Let me know down below in the comments. I'm doing my research, I'm trying lippies, because we're going to talk about kiss proof lippies, eat proof lippies, long wearing lippies, all of it. So make sure you comment and you tell me below, you guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.